Hi everybody, I hope you enjoyed chapter 1 and now we're going on to chapter 2 of the book All Our Hidden Gifts. So she's discovered the tarot deck. Let's see what happens in chapter 2. I look at the cards on the bus home. I can't work out what the pattern is supposed to be. Some of the cards have titles, like the Sun and the Hermit and the Fool, but others have numbers and suits, but not hearts, clubs, spades and diamonds. The suits here are rods, which are long brown sticks, as opposed to fishing rods. Cups, which look more like wine glasses. Swords, which are just swords, and pentacles, which are little stars on discs. Most of the cards are drawings of people, the color in the brilliant red and golds and purples. Each character engaged in a deep concentration with whatever task they are doing. There is a man carving a plate, and that's the 8 of Pentacles. But like he's really carving it. No one has ever applied himself like this dude, applying himself. He is the 8 of Pentacles. The card tells me I wonder what he's supposed to mean. You will carve a plate today? Well, I've seen tarot cards before. Obviously, they come up in films, sometimes as a fortune teller draws the cards and says something vague, and you, the viewer, are convinced she is a con artist. Then she says something specific to make you sit up and pay attention. How does your husband Steve feel about you? Or about that, or something. I flick through them quickly, noticing that each card is marked with a very similar system to ordinary cards. Every suit is marked Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until 10. There are royal families, too, pages, knights, queens, kings. My old best friend Lily would love these. One of our first made-up games was called Lady Knights, and mostly consisted of us pretending to ride horses around her backyard garden, defeating dragons and saving princesses. Maybe she's still playing Lady Knights in her head, but we don't speak anymore. As that was her best friend. As I think about Lily, another card catches my eye. One that seems different from the other cards and makes my stomach swoop when I touch it. My eyes go blurry for a second, like I've just woken up. Is that a woman's face? I pull it out to look, but there is no noise at the back of the bus. There is a noise at the back of the bus. She's on the bus going home. That was the ending of chapter 1. I pull it out to look, but there is a noise in the back of the bus that forces me to turn around. It's a clutch of boys from St. Anthony's. Why are boys so unbelievably loud on the bus? They are passing around something, then screaming with laughter. It's not nice, joyful sound, though it's mean. I catch a flash of something and see they have a deck of cards. Now that is weird. The one day I find tarot cards is also the day that St. Anthony's boys take up tarot, or not. Suddenly Rory O'Gallaghan gets up from his seat and saunters up the aisle, even though I know his stop the same as mine. Isn't for ages. Hey Maeve, he says, pausing near me. Can I? In other words, he's This is what I see. Jesting, can I sit down? Sure, I say. Today keeps getting stranger and stranger. Here I was, just thinking about Lily, and over comes her older brother. Rory and I have known each other since we were small kids, but we've never been friends. Remote, impressive, and seldom seen. He was like a comet through my childhood. He sits down, and I see that his face is completely red, his eyes shiny. I don't ask what happened to Rory. Has always been a bit of a target. His big, soft features and solitary habits make him an outsider at a school like St. Anthony's, where if you don't play football or hurling, you might as well be dead. And this is again, that reminds me of people at school that were pestered. So it just wakes up, is a wake-up call. Don't pest anybody if you don't want to be pestered. It probably doesn't help that the O'Gallagans are Protestant in an almost entirely Catholic city. They are not religious. No one is. Not really. But their being Protestant gives them an air of slight Britishness. Now, I, as a child and teenager, watched the news about Northern Ireland and the civil war that was going on between the British and the Irish. So that comes back again. The history of Ireland, the potato famine, and the English were really fighting and were really hard and mean to the Irish. So you'll get this back in the book as well. Okay, you might as well be dead. It probably then the Protestants in Catholic city, because that's most probably Northern Ireland, that's Protestant, and Southern Ireland is Catholic, I think. But their being Protestant gives them an air of Britishness, a kind of polite, retiring energy that boys will prey on. Rory, one of the boys, shouts down, "Hey, Rory! Rowena, grande! Come back!" Rory blinks his big hazel eyes, which really do look a bit like Ariana Grande's. I don't know who that is. I haven't looked it up yet on Google. And turns to me. "So how are you?" "I'm okay," I say, shoveling the cards. I like the way the cool cardboard feels. It's very nice if you are the sort of person who doesn't know what to do with their hands. That's all the same as me. When I grab the cards, I always have to shake the cards. Okay. Rory blanches when he sees the cards. "Oh crap, you have them too." I am puzzled and put the cards face up, showing him the swirling illustrations, tarot cards. Yes. At that moment, one of the boys comes sprinting down the aisle of the bus. "Hey, Rowena, grande! Has your girlfriend seen these?" The boy, whose name I don't know, shoves some cards under my face, and all at once I get the joke. They are not tarot. They are the kind of gross porn playing cards you get on holidays. Naked girls with huge boobs and thongs so tight they would give you thrush. And stuck to every face is a photocopy of Rory's school photo. Rory pretends to look out of the window, knowing that if he grabs for them or reacts in any way, they'll get exactly what they want. This is quite simply the most awkward moment ever experienced on the Kilbeg bus. And the Kilbeg is the river, I think. "Wait a second," I say, my voice studious, like I am cross-examining someone on their term project. I look at the boy. So you photocopied, cut out and glued Rory's photo onto 52 playing cards? He laughs and gestures at his friends in an aren't I hilarious expression. Wow, you must be totally obsessed with him. As a good reaction, girl, go for it. I say loudly, and the boy gives me a dirty look and returns to the back of the bus. Rory and I sit in silence. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice that his fingernails are painted pink. Not loud, hot fuchsia, but soft pink. The color of ballet slipper. So close to his actual skin color that at first you would hardly notice it. When we get off at our stop, he walks in the opposite direction, with barely a murmur of bye. My house is a good 20 minutes away from the bus stop, but it's a nice route, and on the days like this, I actually look forward to it. I have a walk along the riverbank, the huge blue-grey water of the Beg on the left-hand side of me, the stone walls of the old city on my right. Kilbag used to be the city centre 100 years ago, because the docks were here. It was a trading post, one of the most important in all of Ireland. And there are still plenty of old market squares and cattle posts left from those days. There is even a drinking fountain, dry for decades now, where people used to tie up their horses. Back in the primary school, I did a project on the riots that took place here during the famine, and that's the potato war, when the landlords shipped the grain out of the country, even though the Irish were all starving. I got a prize, my first ever and most probably my last. Our house seems big from the outside, but not when you realize that at one time all 7 of us lived there. Yes, 7. Mum, Dad, my oldest sister Abby, the 2 boys Gillian and Patrick, Joan, and then me. People always ask me what it's like having so many siblings, unaware that there's 15 years between me and Abby, 13 years between me and Gillian, then between me and Patrick, and 7 between me and Joe. It's more like having a load of parents. Hey, calls Joe from the kitchen. She's baking. It's something she's into at the moment. She broke up with her girlfriend a couple of months ago and is living with us while she finishes her master's degree. I really don't want them to get back together, although Mum thinks it could be on the cards. It's so boring when it's just me and Mum and Dad. Hey, you are home early? I responded, dropping my bag in the hall and making my way into the kitchen. What are you making? Ugh. There was some mad Christian protest happening right outside the library window, so I came home. She sucks a little bit of batter off her finger. Pistachio and almond blondies. That is what I'm making. Gosh, or rather God. What were they protesting? And why do you always have to bake things that taste like salt? They are not salty, she says, crushing the nuts with the end of a wine bottle. She's always despairing that there is no proper equipment in this house, but with 5 kids and a career mum could never really be bothered. They are savoury, and they were protesting about the Kate O'Brien exhibition, saying that the taxpayers shouldn't pay for art about queer people, as if
there would be any good art left. She cups her palms and scoops the nuts into the mug. How was it in school? Suspension. Or how was in school suspension? It was fine. Did you apologize to Mr. Bernard like I told you to do? No, Maeve, it didn't hit him. That's not the point. You should at least apologize for acting upon all the time and purposefully disrupting his class. I hate that, acting up. Why are people always in a hurry to categorize you being funny as you being a sociopath? When a girl is quiet, they just say she's quiet. It's her personality. If she's a massive overachiever, they just say she's ambitious. They don't question it. Jo was so completely anal about school that she gave herself stress-induced psoriasis during her leaving the cert. And all anyone had to say was that she was goal-orientated. And anyway, she says, sprinkling the mug of nuts into the blondie mixture, I don't see why you find languages so hard. You are verbal enough. You just have to memorize the right words in the important tenses. Everything else is simple. You just have to memorize them. You know, Maeve says, you just memorize them? It's hard, believe you me, if you're learning a language. Does she not realize how impossible that is, and yet other people do it? All the other girls I hang around with got at least 18 or 19 out of 20. In the last vocab test, while I struggled to make it past 10, just before I started at St. Bernadette's, Mum took me to a special examiner to see if I had dyslexia. I think everybody was really hoping that I was. I just know she has some hidden gifts, Mum told the examiner, trying to convince herself as much as him. She was the earliest to speak of all my kids. She was talking, and at 11 months, complete sentences. They wanted an explanation for my underachievement, especially the boys who are both so sciencey. They called up every day with new theories on why I was falling behind so much. Have we considered that it might be her hearing? Gillian suggested one weekend when he was home. Maybe she can't actually hear what the teacher is saying. Ironic, seeing as the only reason I know he said this was because I overheard him from the next room. I'm not dyslexic, or blind, or deaf. Unfortunately for everyone, I'm just thick. I lick my finger and start dabbling the worktop, picking up crumbs of pistachio and putting them in my mouth. Maeve, gross, stop that. I don't want your spit in these blondies. Why? Who are they for? No one. God, do I need an occasion to not want spitty blondies? They are for Sarah, aren't they? I say, needling her. You are meeting up with Sarah. Shut up, she says, sweeping the nut crumbs into the hand and then folding them into a mixture that is in the mixing bowl with a wooden spoon. You are, I said triumphantly. Well, don't expect me to appreciate them. She'll probably say she loves them and then cheat on them with some brownies. Joan stops mixing. Her face is going red. Oh God, I've done it now. Sometimes I forget that, even though we've all known about the cheating for so long that it feels like old news. Joan still relives it every day. I might be over her being cheated on, but she certainly isn't. Hey, I say, if I can make her laugh, then we can both have a giggle about it, and Sarah's memory will be thrown over old shoulders like lucky salt. Brownies are horrible, probably the most overrated baked good in the world, and slutty too. Joan says nothing and just spoons the mixture into her baking tray. If you like brownies, you are probably an arsehole. I'm trying again, watching her guide her tray into the oven. Jesus Christ, Maeve, will you just leave it? Suddenly she shouts, so angry that she loses her concentration and burns her forearm on the side of the oven. She screams and instinctively clutches her skin, dropping the entire tray of batter on the floor. I grabbed the kitchen roll and started trying to clean up the sticky yellow globs. Stop, she shouts, pushing me away. Just get out, get out, get out, get out. Go to your room. I'm trying to help you now. I'm trying to help you, cow, I say, my eyes tingling already. God, don't cry, don't cry. Nothing worse than being a baby of the family and crying. And you can't tell me to go to my room. You are not mum, so piss off. Now Joan is crying. Sometimes I think that she spent so long being the baby of the family that she's even more sensitive than I am. She had her baby status taken away from her after all, while I am desperately trying to leave it behind. The kitchen door swings open and Mum's there, holding the dog lead and looking exhausted by us already. The dog charges in and dives for the batter, stuffing as much as he can into his mouth before Mum starts shrieking about his irritable bowel syndrome. Grab Tutu, she yells. Maeve, get Tutu away. Tutu, stop! Tutu, stop! Joan, is there butter in this? I'm not cleaning up rancid dairy diarrhea. Do you have any idea how that's going to smell? We locked Tutu outside while we cleaned up the mess, and Joan tearfully explains what a bitch I am. I can't believe you, I snapped at her. You are in your 20s and you are snitching. Then I say a bunch of horrible stuff about her and Sarah, and that I instantly regret, but will also never apologize for. Tutu and I go to my room. 2 outdoors. There are 50 WhatsApp notifications on my phone, but all of them are from groups I'm part of. Nia Welsh and Michelle Breen at me a few times, asking what Miss Harris made me do during my first day of suspension. I cleaned out the chuki, I write back. Lots of emojis. What a bitch, someone says. I found so much crap. I sent a picture of the Walkman and the grungy mixtape. They all register their surprise, but quickly move on to something else. There are at least 14 of us in this WhatsApp group, so it's hard for everyone to keep up. I find myself wishing, not for the first time, that I had a best friend to talk to. I had one once, but that whole thing with Lily is over. It's been almost a year and a half now. Then I remember the cards, the brilliant reds, purples and serious expression and strange symbols. I pulled them out of my bag and started shifting through them, laying them out in numerical order. The Fool, a guy with a dog, and a flute. He's kind of hot in that long-haired Prince Valiant kind of way. I love it. It's true. The Magician, number 2, a guide at a table mixing a potion. The High Priestess, number 3, a woman with a moon on her head. She reminds me of Miss Harris, beautiful and stern. I peer at each one, hoping that I'll get some kind of psychic vision if I make close enough eye contact with the people in the cards. Nothing happens. Eventually, bored, my own ignorance nothing happens. Bored with my own ignorance, I open my laptop and search how to teach yourself tarot, and then the evening disappears. I hope you've enjoyed this reading, and I will do a separate reading, so stay tuned. Take care.